Good afternoon, Beauty. I have to admit, though I do love you, Beauty, you are not the lynx that I was looking for on this live post. Albeit I am happy to be enjoying a sunny February afternoon here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. Welcome, everyone. Come one, come all. We are enjoying pleasant winter day here in northern Minnesota at the Wildcat Sanctuary. This is Beauty. You know her as one of 150 rescued wildcats who call the Wildcat Sanctuary their forever home. I'm kind of zoomed in on Beauty. Beauty is one of our rescues who really knows the type of support system that she has here at the Wildcat Sanctuary, and that we have expert caretakers who, well, they wait on her hand and foot, and we wouldn't have it any other way, Beauty. And I always get a kick out of how Beauty is, you know, she's certainly wanting to spend time in various places in her free roaming habitat, but she's also rather strategic about coming up in the corner, but she knows she can get some people time too. And we like that, Beauty. You get your alone time, you get your cat time, you get your people time. So many awesome ways that our cats benefit from the life that you guys afford them. Torben, good morning, and 200 stars. Torben, I certainly hope you are looking forward to a much-deserved prize, as you were one of the lucky winners, one of the 10 lucky winners to win that TWS photo book that was a part of the decathlon. So good to have you, Torben, and thank you for joining in on our monthly pride, and congratulations. Jeannie Curry's here, checking in from Ohio. Looks like you have some above normal temperatures too. Let me get into the comments. Marcy Sanborn, hope all is well, Marcy. Kristen Strong's here saying hi to Beauty. You guessed right away, Lisa Parker, that it was Beauty. Good guesses. And Beauty's found a nice little sunspot in the kind of top corner of her habitat I was mentioning. Beauty's she's a clever girl, and she knows that she's got this awesome space, which we see her take advantage of frequently, but Beauty also likes her people. I actually just had caretakers behind me, and so Beauty making a point of situating herself where she can give some butt shows and get some purring in as well. But truth to tell, Beauty, I'm so glad to have you on this live, but I actually came down here for different lynx. Beauty is Eurasian lynx. I came down here for a Canada lynx, and not just one Canada lynx, but two Canada lynx, Meeko and Ripley. Meeko and Ripley, we would have heard probably over the last 2 weeks during Tammy's Wildcat wrap-up, of course, as well as their sponsors finding out about their move too. But that rescued lynx Meeko and Ripley, who were a part of that Minnesota rescue along with Bonnie, Clyde, and Kaya, well, they've officially moved down into a free roaming habitat here in the main part of the sanctuary. And so right now, they actually just had their bungalow cleaned and some enrichment placed in it. They have full access to their habitat, but they're kind of cuddling up in their bungalow right now, but I'll still take the opportunity to drop in and say hi to them. A little bit of a lion song happening here too. Well, my shadow's kind of in the way of Beauty. Let me get some sticks out of that. That's not a good spot, Beauty. There we go. I like the close-up, but I think I like the wider shot where we get to show that you have a beautiful space here. Linda Bryant Kimball, I love the roars. Linda, if anybody, you know, I don't think it's even possible to have a case of the Mondays here at the Wildcat Sanctuary, because you have things like that that are always going to put a smile on your face. I love hearing those roars too. Faith, getting excited about a lion song. Kathy Barton's watching. Howdy, Kathy. Checking in from a sunny Florida. Rosie P's joining in. Jill Abbott pointing out how grown up Beauty looks. I have to admit, oh yeah, you're gonna chase the UTV. I have to admit, you're exactly right. Beauty is looking rather mature. I'm sure perhaps some of you saw Beauty's Wild at Heart profile. Basically, it's just a little beauty biography where we make a video on a respective rescued resident like Beauty, and she had her Wild at Heart profile debuted, what would have been in this week's e-newsletter. And in her Wild at Heart profile, and I'm sure many of you remember too, of when Beauty first arrived, how lanky she was. She was all legs. We kept on making the joke. And then obviously too, she was younger, and then she had a summer coat. So even though winter is not really acting like winter, Beauty still has her winter coat on, which is going to give her, you know, seemingly a little bit more mass. And I'm sure that helps make her look more adult and mature looking too. Hey, Toy Johnson, thanks for joining us. Faith pointing out how beautiful that blue sky is. And off she goes, sauntering into her free-roaming habitat. I just love that. Perches, platforms. Beauty's got a cave. She has just all types of tall bushes and brush that a cat like her. She is quick to take advantage of it when she wants to be coy and stalk her neighbors, stalk the caretakers. And I just love the pace of life that your support affords our rescues. Beauty just does not have a care in the world, and it's just so special to see. Tanya Toner, our neighbor from Wisconsin, getting excited about finally catching a live post. Well, of course, Tanya, we are so glad to have you. It's one of my favorite parts of the day is when we get to do a live post. So I'm going to walk this way for a moment just to make sure that I have internet. So right across the way, here we are in Cougar Cove. Technically, we call this Cougar Island because it's an island set apart from the central animal building of Cougar Cove. But you're going to see one bungalow here and one bungalow here, as there are two habitats. You have Buddy the Bobcat over in this habitat, and then it would have been the move of Canada lynx, Meeko and Ripley into this habitat. And I mentioned earlier, perhaps some of you were just joining us, that these two have access to their free-roaming habitat, but they just had their bungalow and shift cleaned, and caretakers always take the opportunity to place a little enrichment when they're cleaning their indoor space, just as they would do when they clean their outdoor space. So funny enough, the two are taking advantage of their indoor space, because I think it's been kind of stinked up with some perfume, and there's some streamers in there as well. But we'll say hi, if I don't slip on mud here, but we'll say hi to Meeko and Ripley here. Oh, and it looks like perhaps Ripley has head outside. There's Meeko enjoying his bed box, a favorite haunt for many of our small to medium cats is one of these kind of larger troughs. You maybe see the kiddie pools up in the serval rooms is filled with some straw or bedding, and those small to medium cats are in hog heaven. So obviously this is different than the central animal building, but it is still exactly kind of operating with the same premise of giving our cats a temperature controlled space that they can seek shelter in. So obviously, since Mr. Ripley, or rather Meeko, is hanging out in his bungalow, I'll just go to show how they can exit their bungalow. They have their shift yard, which I'm sure many of you are aware of how we use those, which then leads into their large free-roaming habitat. And truthfully, I'm going to have my work cut out for me trying to find one of the lynx who have made their way out here, but we are going to try. But again, it's just one of the just things that I love seeing as Meeko and Ripley. They were just rescued this last year in 2023. We know the conditions that they were rescued from. They lived outside. They didn't have an indoor or outdoor space. I'd say that the space that they lived in was even about half the size of their shift. And so it really puts a smile on my face when cats who are rescued by us here at TWS, where they didn't have something before and now they have it here in their rescued life. And they know that they have options and that they can take advantage of things like Mr. Meeko getting in his bed box and Ripley going for a romp out in her free-roaming habitat. You know, when cats realize the new pace of their compassionate life here at the Wildcat Sanctuary, it's always something that puts a smile on my face. And for these two to really be coming into their own, know that they have options indoor and outdoor, it's just awesome. All right, so time to find a lynx here, as it looks like that's Meeko who's hanging out inside. Let's see if we can find Ripley, service willing. And lovely day to have everyone live with us. It is a Friday, almost the weekend here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. And just like many of our habitats, lots of areas to seek out some hiding spots, and I have found lynx. As my camera focuses here. And you know, I think I'm mistaken. I believe that is Ripley, who is back in her bed box, and this is going to be Meeko. And how cool. I mean, if you were just to take a screenshot of this image right here, arguably so, you could say that, you're tuning in on a Canada lynx that's in the wild. And, as we say here at the Wildcat Sanctuary, we would love for all of our rescues to live a wild life. And for unfortunate circumstances, rather, they aren't able to live a wild life. But here at the Wildcat Sanctuary, and what your support allows us to do is, give them the next best thing in what we call a wild heart life. And when I see a lynx completely shrouded by bushes and twigs, and that's about one of 20 hiding spots that he has in his free-roaming habitat here. It just is amazing, not only what we're able to provide, but also thinking about where this cat came from. You shudder to think about what he went through in his former life, but we get the silver lining of knowing that he's officially entered the best and most compassionate chapter of his life here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. I'm going to zoom out here just to give some context and kind of kneel down. But talk about camo, everybody, too. I'm not going to zoom all the way in. I think you have those ear tufts that are going to help identify those ears, but for the most part, it just looks in the best way possible like one kind of gray blob merging into the brush there. It is just so cool. I'm loving to see everyone, how excited they are in the comments, and I'm sharing that excitement right along with you. And perhaps maybe you're new to the Wildcat Sanctuary, perhaps you're unaware of the type of conditions who we're looking at right now. Meeko, what he was rescued from. I'm going to strongly urge you to go to our website and read Meeko's story and learn and see for yourself what he escaped and what your guys' support allowed us to do for these cats. And tragically, when we were first contacted on this case, Meeko was rescued from a Minnesota breeder. When we were first contacted on this case, we committed to a lot, many more cats than, unfortunately, we were able to actually rescue. And that's, just one of the things that happens in the rescue world is things can change, and unfortunately, animals can slip through the cracks. But happy that we were able to make a difference for these cats, but still very important to understand all that went into that rescue, and how thankful we are for the cats that we were able to save, but also just kind of the pitfalls of how animal rescue works, and how even when authorities are involved, that some of those animals still slip through the cracks. Look at that. I just can't believe how beautifully camouflaged you are. Jocelyn, I will have to agree with that comment. It's strange to see Tibby West without snow this time of year. Strange indeed. Someone asking, do any of the former owners ever donate? I would say about 9.9 times out of 10, no. The former owners of many of the rescues that come to the Wildcat Sanctuary typically don't have or give any financial support to our rescues. Just to zoom out again. I know I keep kind of zooming in here, but it's always fun to kind of get the big picture too. I mean, just awesome. It's so cool to see how effective you are able to blend in, Mr. Meeko. And again, kind of showing off the power of choice that our rescues have. One of these two lynx inside their indoor space, enjoying some quiet time, some warm time. And then Mr. Meeko, he says, I'm coming out here, I'm getting the lay of the land. I'm smelling, I'm looking. Life is good, thanks to you all. Disappearing cat is right, Jeannie Curry. Cool to kind of look around some of the habitat here. You're going to see lots of little crepe paper tassels tied on to various things, trees, twigs. Just a little added movement for these two. They had a big old box. Looks like it's still in there as well. That I think, as we've learned, many of our rescued lynx are big box fans with some added scent, and Meeko and Ripley being no exception. But it looks like Rip is still hanging out in her bungalow. I was maybe hoping for her to come and join, but like I said, choices are meant to be made here at the Wildcat Sanctuary, and we like that she's taking advantage of it. Maybe service will let me come over and say hi to Simon and Jeremy over here. Hey, Mr. Simon. Good afternoon to a handsome white tiger. As I said, internet willing. Gotta run. Oh, brother, I just move about 15 feet, Meeko, and I get beat up with the internet. So I think we'll keep hanging out with you, big guy, if you'll have us. Sorry about. All right, had to retreat from saying hi to Simon and Jeremy and sticking with Mr. Meeko here. Ellen Simmons asked a really good question, wondering who are their neighbors. That is a very good question, Ellen. It's always good to give context when there's a cat move. And so, very simply, Meeko and Ripley, they have a shared wall. So their closest neighbor is going to be Buddy the bobcat. Tammy yesterday kind of elaborated on what some of those interactions with Buddy have been like, and how we're kind of going to go moving forward. Still kind of wanting to observe how those two are doing along their shared wall. I think it's mostly just Buddy getting a little too tuned up about his lynx neighbors. And so I think that is still just being evaluated. I think one of the other large concerns was this would have been the first time that that would have been Meeko and Ripley would have seen any big cats. So they have Shadow, who isn't along a shared wall, but is right across the way. And of course, Simon and Jeremy, who we just saw. But ultimately, they didn't have, truthfully, much of any reaction of when they saw the big cats. More just curious, and you know, wanting to observe them, not being fearful or aggressive towards them, which was nice to see. But yep, they have Mr. Buddy, who's directly kind of has that shared wall with them. And of course, Shadow across the way. I'm sure they can see Tao as well. And then white tigers, Jeremy and Simon. And I'm sure they probably caught a glimpse of some cougars cruising around over in Cougar Cove as well. So they kind of get a good vantage point of a lot of different rescues here. That's pretty sweet, Mr. Meeko. Yeah. Mr. Camo Nico. Or Meeko, rather. Okay, if I can get it focused in here. Well, cool, everyone. I'm, you know, really happy that we got to come in and check in with these two in their new space. They are taking it nice and easy this afternoon, and they've really been doing well, as you heard from Tammy when she gave her update during the Wildcat wrap-up, and I'm sure as their sponsors read once they made their move, is that they've really been doing well in this space, and excited for them to continue to flourish. That's right, Ellen. Lots of special neighbors. We'll go and say hi to Ripley real quickly, who's hanging out in her bungalow. And who saw the catnip ball reel yesterday. I'm looking over at the 5 Wild Groups habitat. Langley, Noah, and Denoma were given, you know, it's kind of, you know, the most simple and effective piece of enrichment. It's about an 8-pound ball of concentrated compressed catnip. And we would have posted a reel yesterday that I highly encourage everyone to go and check out if maybe they didn't see it. Man, just so simple, so effective. Oh, and look at that. Ripley says, well, you're giving me these nice hanging hammocks. I was enjoying the bed box down here with the soft straw, but I'll tell you what, I like the hanging hammock as well. Awesome, awesome. I love that. We're just getting a 50-50 of what life's like for these cats. We get to see their indoor space and how Rip is making sure she's showing off. Well, I have the choice to be in here. I have the choice to be out there. Life has never been so sweet for me. We'll just kind of get one more shot of that habitat. Tammy mentioned that we did have to kind of do a little tree trimming after they were giving us some indications that climbing was something they were interested in. But caretakers haven't observed anything like that since we've made those little adjustments. Look at that, Daria. Denoma and Noah and Langley had so much fun with the catnip ball. Daria, I was smiling from ear to ear. And truthfully, it was funny because they would all three... Oh, look at Mr. Simon way up on his rock. They would all three... Oh yeah, are you playing with your brother? You getting the zoomies? Wow, tiger zoomies across the way. Is that they would all three kind of be sauntering around. One would be leading the charge, kind of plodding along and knocking the catnip ball, and they would stop and they would want to, you know, kind of roll and kind of bunny kick it. Well, and when they would do that, the other one would just take the opportunity to kind of knock it from that one's hands and keep going with it. And it was just kind of like this, you know, repetitive, you know, train of cougars. Oh, big stretch, Mr. Meeko. Are you gonna come say hi? Those are big stretches. How come the Canada lynx are such good stretchers? Hey, handsome. Are there tigers over there? Yeah. Well, do they know that there's a fierce lynx here? That's a good girl. Or good boy, excuse me. That's Mr. Meeko. Daria, I think that is about as accurate as it comes. They were channeling their inner Carlo. It was very, very special to see those siblings. I mean, just ball playing runs in the family. And there goes Meeko. I'm going to give him his space. And I can see Buddy the Bobcat kind of behaving like I mentioned. Just being a little too curious about what his neighbors are doing. And we don't want Buddy to overexert himself. He is one of our senior Bobs here. And so just to make sure that he's going to be safe, as well as obviously his neighbors next to him. So Mr. Buddy, it was good to see ya. But it looks like Mr. Meeko and Ripley had been to their bungalow. Looks like I lost Beauty across the way. She's off enjoying herself. And let's see if maybe I see any lazy cougars who are still kind of feeling the catnip ball hangover, if you will. They might be feeling their catnip ball hangover, but perhaps in their indoor bedrooms. I'm not sure if I see anybody. Well, so be it. I think we had a nice live post this afternoon, and it was really pleasant. Checking in with, I was about to say Bobcats, Meeko and Ripley, Canada lynx, Meeko and Ripley. A little bit of, a little dose of some Roar Ridge tigers, Simon and Jeremy across the way too. But, well, somewhere out there is either a big cougar cuddle puddle, or perhaps it's happening in their indoor bedroom, but nonetheless, they're enjoying their afternoon. So, hey, everyone, we made it to the end of another week. Thank you, everyone. I just want to give a formal thank you for everyone who participated in the first ever TWS Decathlon. Not only, was it a fun play on words and got people excited about doing something special for the cats, but it was successful. I think we gained about 40 new monthly Pride members, but just over 40. That's a big sustained impact here on the cats. So thank you, everyone, for joining in on that special campaign. And as always, it's a new week at the Wildcat Sanctuary next week with more exciting things coming your way. I think Tammy's alluded to some of those on her Wildcat wrap-ups. But nonetheless, thank you guys for making the Wildcat Sanctuary what it is. And for now, have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you back here on Monday. Bye, everyone.